Welcome to Media Technology Center, OP Jindal University, Raigad. I am Dr. Vikas Kumar of School of Management, Senior Assistant Professor. Today I am going to teach you elasticity of demand. In last lecture we have understood everything related to the concept demand and the law of demand. So in the law of demand we have understood what is the relationship between price and quantity demand. What is the relationship between price and quantity demand? If price goes up, demand will go down and vice versa. Today we are going to understand how much there is change in quantity demand with the change in price. So in law of demand we have understood the term what, the relationship, and today we are going to understand how much. So elasticity of demand is degree of responsiveness to the change in quantity demand due to change in the factors or the determinants. So elasticity could be written as percentage change in demand with respect to percentage change in the factors. Okay, so we must consider this elasticity topic as an important because this shows the relation between price and demand more sophistically and it measures the degree of change. Okay, so there are mainly three determinants of the demand. The first one is price of good. Okay, if the price changes, demand for the goods changes. The second important determinants are or the factor is income of a consumer. If income increases, demand increases. And the third important factor is price of the related goods. Okay, so we are going to understand elasticity with the help of these three determinants. Starting with the price elasticity. So what is elasticity? Percentage change in demand with respect to percentage change in the factor. So price elasticity could be written as percentage change in demand upon percentage change in determinant, and that is price. Okay, so in place of factor we are writing what? We are writing price because we are understanding about price elasticity. So what is the formula for this? Percentage change in demand. How can we calculate the percentage change in demand? Change in demand, total demand multiply by 100. This is the way to calculate percentage, isn't it? Divided by change in price upon price multiply by 100, percentage change in price. So it could be rewritten as this term divided by. So if you convert this division into multiplication, all the terminology will be reverse. So px will go upside, delta px will downside, and 1 upon 100. So 100 is deduced by 100. Now what is left? Change in qdx upon qd multiply by px upon change in px. So this is what? This is the formula for elasticity of demand, or we can term it as price elasticity. Let's have an example for this. So here I have taken two examples. One is of spices that we use in our daily meal, and the other is based on say motorcycle. I will let you know the story behind this also. So here we have given example of price of spices. given price, say when the price per packet of spices is given rupees 50, that time in a household in a month people use 8 packet of spices for their daily consumptions. If price of spices increases, definitely increase in price leads to the fall in demand, but spices is again a necessity goods, okay, or any necessity goods, we decrease our demand but not so much, we decrease minutely. So we have decreased 8 to 7 packet of spices. I am taking the hypothetical example. Let's solve this question. What is the percentage change in demand? Change in Q upon change Q upon multiply by P upon delta P. So what is delta Q? What is change in Q? What is change in Q? Minus 1. So delta Q is minus 1. What is Q? We will take 8 because we are comparing from base value. Multiply by P. What is P? The base value 50. And what is change in P? Plus 10. Okay. If you solve this, what you will get? Minus 5 upon 8, or the value could be minus 0.625. But in case of price elasticity, we not include the negative sign. Why? I will let you know later, but for now you understand the elasticity is how much? 0.625. What does this mean? This means that, let me write the term first. If the value comes 0.625, it means if there is change in price by 1% of spices, it will lead to change in demand by 0.625%. If the price increases by 1%, the demand will fall by 0.625%. If price decreases by 1%, demand will increase by 0.625%. That is the literal meaning and that is the interpretation of the numerical. Now let's move to this question. So on the one hand, I am taking the necessity goods like spices. You can take wheat, rice, or any daily necessity goods. On the other hand, I am taking motorcycle. On 31st March 2017, and before this 31st March, Government of India have announced one policy change that after 31st March, the motorcycle company and the car company will not be able to sell their BS3 engine product. It means the manufacturer have the last date 31st March 2017 to sell out all their stock and inventory. And because of that, on that week you may have seen newspaper advertisement, or you can Google it. The newspaper advertisements are full of the discounts and offers belongs to four-wheelers, the all segment of four-wheelers and all segment of motorcycle two-wheelers. And because of that, what happens on last day of March, all showroom, nearly all showroom of tier 2 city and tier 1 city is fully vacated. All motorcycle has been sold, all cars has been sold on that particular day. So I have discussed with one motorcycle showroom. He said, sir, when we are selling our motorcycle of average price, say 50,000, we are able to sell 50 quantity per day. But on that day, 31st March, we have given 20% discount on the motorcycle and we are able to sell 150 quantity of bike. It means what happens? Let's calculate with the help of elasticity. What happened? Change in demand. How much change in demand? Demand increases by 100 upon demand, the base value, multiply by P. What is P? The base value, 50,000. What is change in price? Change in price, minus 10,000. And as we have already discussed, we are not going to see the negative value. Why? I will discuss later. So what is the change? Change in P is how much? 10,000. Now let's calculate this. The value comes what? 10. The elasticity comes what? 10. It means if price is changing by 1%, the quantity sold is changing by 10%. And this is not considered as a necessity. It's a kind of luxury. Now, if you look upon this, so we can say that in case of necessity, the value is quite less, or value is less than 1. Why this? Because if the price changes, demand also changes. But in case of necessity, the demand decreases minutely because the product is of necessity. Like say medicine. If the price of medicine increases, answer me, if you reduce your quantity consumption of tablets or essential medicine? No. It means in case of necessity goods, the reaction of demand is very less with the change in price. But in case of luxury, what happens? Price is the major factor that affects the demand. Let's take an example. What happens if you today go to the showroom and the showroom owner, you want to have a car, and showroom owner says that the final price for this car is say 7,50,000. You ask for more discount. What he says, sir, today we cannot offer you more discount, but maybe in the financial ends that will be the last week of say March, maybe you will get more 15,000 rupees discount. What you will do, what I will do, what everyone will do, definitely they will postpone their today's consumption and they will say, okay, I will come on the last week to grab that more 15,000 discount, because in case of other than necessity goods, we are able to postpone our consumption. That is why the quantity demanded is more reactive with the price, or quantity demand is more sensitive towards the change in price, more responsive towards the change in price. Whereas in case of necessity, we don't see this. Say medicine is a necessity goods. What happen if the price will increase? Do you reduce your consumption? No, I think no. If the essential medication is there, you will not reduce your consumption. So by this we can understand the concept of degree of elasticity. If the price is less, if the demand is what happens if the elasticity comes to 0? It means we are dealing with necessity kind of goods. If the elasticity is more than 1, we are dealing with the other than necessity. For instance, I am saying it luxury. So more elasticity shows that the demand is more responsive towards the change in price. The less elasticity shows that demand is least reactive, least responsive towards the change in price. Let's take an example of say salt. What will happen? Say if the price of salt per kg is say 20 rupees. In a month, in your household, you consume say 5 kg of salt. What will happen if the price increases to 30? Or what will happen if the price decreases to 10? Either you will consume more or less. I think we all have a same answer. We will consume same. So what is the change in Q? 0. What is the change in price? Say 10. So what is the elasticity? Change in quantity upon quantity multiply by price upon change in price. The answer is 0. means when the product is the most necessity kind of product or the extremely necessity kind of product, the value of elasticity would be near to 0. If the product is more luxurious or you can postpone the consumption of that product, in that case the answer would be more near to infinity. Okay, and the borderline is unitary elastic, that is when the percentage change in demand is same as the percentage change in price. Okay, so we have just understood about the degrees of elasticity. Now, what are the methods to calculate elasticity? There are 4 methods to calculate elasticity. The first one is percentage method, also known as proportionate method, that already we have discussed with the 2 examples. The other method to calculate elasticity is expenditure method, or we can say total outlay method. The third one is point method to calculate elasticity, and the fourth one is arc method to calculate elasticity. So, price elasticity can be calculated by all the 4 methods. We have just understood this. Later I will teach you this. But other than price elasticity, that we are going to discuss income elasticity and cross elasticity, that is only calculated with the help of percentage or proportionate method. In that case, we will not use these 3 methods. Okay. Now, let's have a discussion for the income elasticity. So, in case of price elasticity, the formula is change in Q upon Q multiplied by P upon change in P. So, what will be the formula for the consumer income elasticity? The factor is what? P. In that place we can put the I. Yes, delta Q upon Q multiply by income upon change in income. Or you can understand this with the help of reverse engineering also, percentage change in demand with respect to percentage change in income. For instance, I am writing income I, you may see Y in your textbook, so doesn't matter, this is just a formal notation, you can use anything. So, in that case, change in Q upon Q multiplied by 100 divided by change in I upon I multiplied by 100. If you deduce 100 by 100, what is the remaining value? This is the remaining value. Okay, so I have written directly here. So, for now I am just resting my case. In next lecture, I will teach you income elasticity, cross elasticity and the other methods to calculate price elasticity. Hope you have understood today's lecture. That's all from my side. Have a nice day. Keep learning.